Welcome to the United Touring Championship, a series dedicated to providing powerful touring car racing. Touring is a high-contact sport where the emphasis is on the ability to overtake with confidence. 30 drivers will compete in 12 races over 6 meetings to decide who will be crowned the UTC champion.
Good evening and welcome to the UTC Championship, the United Touring Championship, live from Brands Hatch, round 1 this evening here, kicking off the championship itself. The championship is started, and I am James Parfitt, and I'll be bringing you all the action with my man Dean Biggles, who's going to be joining me tonight as well very shortly in the booth. Now we are here at Brands Hatch, Indy, 1.92 kilometers of undulations up and down of the Indy circuit in the United Kingdom, just outside the city of Kent. Now it's going to be a mad touring car action. 4 manufacturers, 2 car classes, 2 for the same manufacturer. We've got a Hyundai, a Honda and an Audi all on track tonight. We've got 21 cars taking part. Don't forget, we are broadcast live on the United Touring Car Championship YouTube channel and using iRacing, the world's premier simulator. So if you are here for the first time, subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on the bells for notifications of when we go live. Okay, so the schedule itself, what's going to be happening is we've got round 1 and 2 this evening from Brands Hatch. So we're bringing you a 25-minute sprint race, and then we got a 35-minute feature race with a mandatory pit stop. After that, we head to Alton Park for round 3 and 4 on the 16th of July. Okay, so that's going to be the 16th of July. Then we do the 30th of July at Knock Hill for rounds 5 and 6. Rounds 7 and 8 is going to be from Sonoma Raceway on the 8th of August. Round 9 and 10 will be at Donington Park on the 20th of August. And then we round out the season at round 11 and 12 from Silverstone International Circuit. So we have got pure touring car action that I'm excited and looking forward to, because we've got no fast repairs. The guys have got no fast repairs this evening. They've just got to do the business, and they've got to do it first time round. There is pure driver skill going on in these touring cars, and it is going to be absolutely amazing. So just stay tuned, give it some love, show it some love as much as you can physically can. Give the video a big old thumbs up, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss this action this evening. Right, so here we are currently at the Brands Hatch circuit on the Indy circuit, and we're going to bring my man Biggles into the booth. Biggles, good evening, young sir. How are you?
Good evening, James. I'm fantastic, mate. They say all good things are worth waiting for. Well, they're not wrong, are they? We're finally here. It's here. The first one, the debut of the United Touring Championship. Looking forward to it, and what a better place, mate. 1958, I think this track started, isn't it? Brands Hatch, a natural amphitheatre offering unrevealed views of the action from various vantage points. Brands Hatch, known as one of Britain's best loved motor racing circuits. It's a unique combination of dips, cambers, fearsome corners, and the hills mean it's still one of the world's most renowned racing venues. And we're going to start it right here for those 2 rounds that you said. Yeah, I'm absolutely stoked, mate. Thank you. They allowed me in the United Kingdom, and why not? It's fun.
That's because you're absolutely amazing. They allowed you in. You come across on the plane. They checked out your passport. Everything was working correctly. And that's why they've allowed you in, dear sir. You know what I mean? But it is going to be absolutely epic. Now, the track itself, not your normal Brands Hatch circuit, Biggles. We haven't got many corners on here. There's a lot of things involved that the drivers have got to be aware of. Druids, Graham Hill, Surtees, round McLaren and then down into Clark. It's going to be a tough one because lap times at the moment, we're looking at about 48 seconds, which is done from Scott McFall, so 48.02. So they're going to be doing at least 25 laps in the sprint and about 35 in the feature. So they've got some good tough going this evening.
Yeah, mate. What's happened at the moment in this series, of course, is they're throwing everybody in the deep end. No fast repairs, man versus machine, no cheat codes essentially, and you go to one of the quickest parts of the Brands Hatch, which is the Indy section, and it's an Indy section. If you look at that track map, if you didn't have that little inner part that goes in, which is obviously Graham Hill, the Copper Straight, the McLaren, the Surtees, then you'd have basically an oval, and I guess that's what the reference for Indy would be, right? If I'm not mistaken, I'm just guessing that one, but yes, it'll be fast and furious with limited amount of turns. So these gladiators at the moment on the track are going to have to really make do and work for their overtakes once again. Any damage, any spins, any visits to the fence equals you're in big, big trouble. But once again, you got 2 times to try this one, of course, sprint race and the feature race.
Absolutely. Now, Arch Evil. So touring cars are just smaller GT3 cars. Well,
that's Ian out there, by the way. That's Achieved Ian, my buddy out there.
Achieved Ian. Well, to be fair, mate, I suppose you could look at them that way, but it's a different kettle of fish. If you've ever watched the British Touring Car Championship here in the UK, it's not quite as a GT3. It brings a different dimension, these guys on track and in these cars. So, you're going to have to be a little bit careful what you say because you might get people jumping on you going, no, that's not correct. So you just, we're just
put it this way, Ian. Say maybe the upper middle class person in the United Kingdom could afford to buy these cars. No problemo. Whereas the GT3 cars, that might be a little bit in the upper scale, rich kind of territory, I guess, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
James?
I think these are more open to the people like myself and you who jump in a touring car. We can go out and do, buy one. Don't get me wrong, they're still expensive and they're expensive to run. But at the same time, I think, they're just set for your kind of working class man that could jump in a car and go. I'm not saying that you want to because it's changed a lot from my day so much of watching touring cars where it was all, Alfa Romeos.
Well, these are the special editions, right? Like the sports editions of the general road car. You could buy these, but these are the TIs, the turbocharged editions. Not the turbos, but
you know what
the
it is,
special ones.
The lightweighted versions and things like that. And you just got to be a little bit careful. Yo, who's the sexy guy in the 939? 939, that's Luke Mitchell. Is that you, Luke, in chat, is it?
It says fish in his name, but it could very much be.
Yeah.
I tell you what, drivers obviously do give us a bit of a chat. Hello, drivers, if you are tuning in and listening. Yeah, g'day. Of course, some of you won't be typing. However, guys, remember, there is a bot that you can get. It's a voice to text. You can use it. You can chat to us whilst you're driving without having to take your hands off the steering wheel. I'd like to see more people doing that. Ian's asking a question up for you, mate. You know more about motor racing than I do.
So, for reference, what is the pace compared to other cars? Is it like upgraded road cars? Yes. It's like an upgraded road car, but it's not at the pace of the GT3. They're a lot more robust. They're a lot more sturdier, the TCRs. You can give them a little bit of a door bang and you're unlikely to go and obviously knock your wheels out. But at the end of the day, if you was to go and put it into the wall, you're going to suffer damage. You know what I mean? As we've just come to the end of practice, we are going in.
How's your insurance company going to handle that one as well, too? But yeah, you're right.
Mate, I wouldn't want to be involved in that. We're going to have 15 minutes of qualifying, guys, as well. So we'll just wait for some of the drivers to pop out on jack. And we'll be able to start bringing you in times. As we can see, Scott Fall is out on track as well. Open qualifying. So all the cars have been rushing out on circuit all at once, so just be aware it will get a little bit manic out on track, and then we'll start getting times coming in. Yeah, Ian, so I got it. Okay. Fish, no, you're not Luke Mitchell. Oh, okay.
He's a fish.
He's a fish, clearly.
He's a fish with a smiley face.
Yeah, obviously he is there, Biggles. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, so yeah, you mentioned this, and I love the new graphics, obviously, the overview. You're going to see the driver there on the left-hand side of the screen there, which is the driver you focus on, and which also shows you a little car overlay on top there. You see that sporting their liveries. Of course, they're all going to have lots of custom liveries. Of course, but then again, one of two, you can obviously probably maybe pull up a track map later on to give an idea how busy it will get on this small track there with, what are we looking at, about 21 to 22 gladiators, well, victims per se for the first race. Victims.
Yeah, we've got 22 on track currently. 22 are in the session, so we should be able to get some of the drivers up here as well. It's going to be quite a little busy circuit anyway, you know, with the mixture of cars you've got as well. I think this is just going to be one of these leagues that I think, Biggles, where we're going to sit back and just think, wow, because it is just going to be like the official touring car series. I think you've got the Australian, is it the Australian supercars, I suppose?
Yep, supercars Bathurst, mate. Yep.
Yep, it's going to be kind of along the same lines as that. You know, there's going to be some rubbing, there's going to be a little bit of banging. You know, everybody understands at the beginning that at the end of the day, you know, it's all part of racing. So I think, you know, they're well prepared for what they're about to endure. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we're going to be going into so much of, oh, you've done this, you've done that, people have done this, people have done that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be much of that whole kind of protest system in place. You know what I mean? There are punishments, obviously, for reckless driving and wrecking people, but at the end of the day, you know, there's no points deductions. So I think that's something that the drivers are going to look forward to as well. It's a points paying position in the sprint race all the way down to P16, where you get 1 point. And the same for the feature is also down into P16. Now, obviously, you start off in P1 for the sprint for 18, and then you go to 25 for the feature for the victory. So that's going to be an interesting one this evening as well. So pay close attention to who gets qualifying, because they do get an extra point for quali. Okay, so if they get pole in quali, they get an extra point. So that's a bit of an incentive.
There are additional points as well. And you mentioned this because, you know, well, if you're not familiar with the United Touring Championship, this is a practically brand new league. There's been a lot of preparation behind the scenes, haven't they, James? Like, we've, you know, been obviously invited to do the broadcasting and casting for this event. And it's been prepared well in advance for a month, and they've been chatting to all the drivers and sorting everything out. So they've organized. They're definitely organized. So the drivers are well prepared. The rules and regulations are all being listed there. They've all had plenty of time to talk about it, chat about it, negotiate it, everything like that. So now it's time to throw all that out. You've learnt, you've gone to school, you hopefully paid attention in school, and now this is your first exam time, really. Would be the test, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Lewis has done an incredible job in the background. I've been talking to him probably on a daily basis, really, to make sure everything's in place. And, you know, he's done the music, and obviously we got my man Jacob Roboff and did the promo video. So everything's been, you know, up and running, and in the background we've been ticking boxes solidly to try and bring the best possible touring car action that I think, to be fair, that you're probably not going to see in many other leagues. I think this is going to be one of them things where you're going to probably only see it once, and you'll probably see it in this league, because they're in for absolutely everything tonight. They are going deep, shall we say, and door rubbing and everything, mate. Yeah, you know,
jump
the rest
in the deep end.
Yeah.
Exactly. Before you can swim, perhaps. Well, trust me, these guys can swim. There's one extra thing this is the point that I was looking at, because I was reading through all the official rule book. This is something new. I don't think a lot of leagues do it, but and I like it. 1 point will be awarded to the driver or drivers with the least amount of incidents per race. Now, obviously, that would be par. If they're on the same amount of incidents, then they all get the point each. Isn't that interesting, mate? That promotes points for clean driving.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm only aware of one other league that would looks at doing kind of the same kind of thing as that. They get points for how many incidents they get, not the most amount of incidents. Don't get me wrong.
No, this is the least amount.
Yeah, so they get points from 0 to. They get 0, they get an extra bonus point, 5 bonus points, and then 1 to 4 they get extra as well. So to do it in a league like this, I think it's not only going to promote clean driving, because these cars are renowned for that little bit of bumping, that little bit of door rubbing, that little bit of, argy-bargy going down into turn 1. And I think that's going to be the most exciting thing, because the drivers have got to keep it clean, but they're going to look at bringing the best action they possibly can. And I think that points for at least incidents is going to help that situation as well, I think.
Excellent. All right, looks like Buzzies might be getting a fastest first sector. Let's see that's the... does he get up there? Only P3 at the moment, so it's 1/10 down. It's a short, relatively short. Look at that, 2 thousandths of a second. Ian would know that. He's a friendly astrophysics professor out there. He's not a professor yet, of course, but Ian knows his space-time, and that's 2 hundred-thousandths of a second if somebody gets completely off the road there. There's a lot of traffic out in the track map, mate. They're all pretty much spread out. Where is my question to you? I'm not really familiar with Brands Hatch that much, but where do you get overtakes done on this track?
Down into turn 1 and up into Druids. I think they're looking at your better exit. Really, Graham Hill is only if somebody's had a really, really bad exit out of Druids. If they've had a really bad exit out of Druids, then Graham Hill is going to be the place they're going to want to look at capitalising it. But round Clark, last corner, but mainly turn 1, down Paddock Hill, down up into Druids is going to be the main point. As we say about Turovsky, he goes on to pole on a 48.21. So there you go.
Second lap around, I think he did a really good job there, made up for a little bit of the mistake. And that looks like it might be under a Hungarian flag as well, too. So it could be one of our Hungarian drivers, which is fantastic. You know a few of them. Scott's from Scotland. Actually, Scott's from Scotland, believe it or not.
Oh, funny how
this
that
is
works.
surprising, this track, mate. It kind of reminds me of Albert Park, because you have the curve, Clark, there's curve and the Brabham Straight. That's also on the Albert Park track. You have Graham Hill. There's a Graham Stadium. Yeah, I'm seeing a bit of a copying going on, of course. Well, I think Albert Park copied from Brands Hatch, considering this is 1968 this track came. Don't be shy in the chat as well, too, guys. And this is the first time we're broadcasting on this channel for this United Touring Car Championship. It'll increase over time as we got, as you mentioned, mate, we have a lot of rounds, don't we, to go? Of course, this is the first 2 that we got. Alton Park, Knockhill, Samoda, Darlington Park, Silverstone to wrap it all up.
Yeah, mate, I think this season is going to be amazing as well, partly because they're all really, when you look at the track selection, the guys here at the UTC have done an amazing job, because they're all really touring car tracks. Do you know what I mean? You're not looking at the long tracks like Barfirst or, any of the other long ones. We've even got Silverstone International, which is the legacy track of Silverstone, not the current version we've got now. And obviously here at Brands Hatch Indy. So, and then Knockhill, I race around Knockhill myself, a very challenging track in an MX-5, let alone in a touring car. So the guys have done a stellar job picking the right tracks for the season, and I think it's really going to emphasise here the driver skill that we've got on track tonight, mate.
You're right, and the shorter tracks also bring everybody closer together, the action tighter, and that way also lap cars and jazz like that. Slower cars will come into play. It's difficult to overtake as it is, and you have to time it. It won't be one of those, Le Mans situations of all the different classes and things like that, but you might start seeing that coming to play, depending on the pace difference, obviously, between, who's going to be lapping about, half a second quicker than somebody else.
Yeah.
Per se, and jazz like that.
Exactly. And also we've got the mandatory pit stop in the feature race. So that's going to mix everybody up if everybody's really close together on track at that specific time. So they're going to have to really be careful.
You're right. Because in the mandatory pit stop, into the rules and regulations that we read through, I read through on my 15-hour flight, 16, 17-hour flight over here. You're not required to take gas or tires or anything. You're just required, just pull up there, wave to your pit crew if you want, and exit. That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're clever on fuel somehow, and your tires, I don't think tires would be a problem, but if you're clever with your fuel, and somehow manage to lift and coast all the way, well, you could do it on the penultimate lap. That will be the very last lap you could put it on, and then just jump in and out, bang, done. You could in theory win the race, but who knows, mate? Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one for anybody to try and attempt, mate. I've got to be honest. I think somebody brave. Maybe we might see the likes of Chris Byram. He might have a go, or maybe even Lewis himself. Lewis Archer, they're currently in 5th place. He might have a go as well. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to have to be a really brave man to do that.
Well, that's a question to you. Can you fuel the cars up to go all the way?
Well, you can in the sprint and you can in the feature because they're not required to take fuel for the pit stop. So technically, yes, they can. But they've got to factor in that 25-second pit lane. Or 12 and a half seconds, I suppose it would be.
It's a bit of action there at the moment.
But
16 go
Balazars go round at the moment on track. So, they've got to have to really sort of think about what they're going to do, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be sitting in these cars thinking, what have I got to do? Because I know how hard these cars are to drive at the best of times. And, I would probably spend more time concentrating on trying to keep the car on track than I would worry about that.
That's why we have a sprint race, mate. We're in qualifying 3 minutes to go. That's why we have a sprint race, so that this is the first full dress rehearsal for the league. So, all the other rehearsals are done. This is you're dressed up at the moment, and you have an audience. This is your first opening show, perhaps. So, yeah, get all bugs out of your system. Of course, we might see a lot of gambling and all that jazz occurring first, and then once they get the system, the feature race will be the one where they probably start settling down a little bit more and seeing it, and then they'll go back and watch all this and review it and say, okay, how are we going to approach the next race? What have we done wrong? And how we can get better? Because the good thing about the first race, of course, is that everybody is on 0.
Yep.
So anybody right now in the whole grid can win or lose this race anyway and finish any position. So it's only when you get down towards a Silverstone at the end that you really have to start counting those points and adding them up.
So what do you think then, right? So, first broadcasted race, the drivers know it's going out. They are aware. Do you reckon they would get their little bit of nerves going on? Do you know broadcast nerves?
Don't you?
Oh, mate, all the time. I always, the thing is, if I'm in a broadcasted race, and I don't do one, but if I'm in that broadcasted race, I always wonder if they're talking about me. And then I lose concentration.
There's a bunch of people listening at the moment, mate, so I'm sure some of the drivers might be. I think there's probably a little bit less drivers that actually be listening to the broadcast because they're really head down focusing because, once again, they're nervous and they want to avoid as many distractions as possible. I would probably expect most of these gladiators will probably be listening into the broadcast a little bit later on when they feel more comfortable as we progress into the season. But for now, Scott is up the top of the timesheets. He has it's the Scott versus the Bazels. I'm really going to butcher his name, unfortunately, but yes, the number 2 car there, Turkosy. Yeah, you're gonna have to help me out those names, mate. Sorry, I was looking through some of the list there, writing some notes down. And if you drivers are listening to the stream back later, please DM me or James and say this is how I pronounce my name and phonetically spell it or something like that. We'll be happy to correct that. I'll give you a nickname otherwise.
Yeah, we'll give you a nickname. I think that's Roxy.
Yeah, see, you know you got tongue twister.
Tarosky. Oh, I don't know, Biggles. We'll just go by his first name if you want. Balaz.
That's right.
Balaz and Oliver.
I guarantee you by Silverstone, mate, I'll have nicknames for 90% of these drivers. And most of them like it. Like, if it's Barry, I'll call him Bazar. If it's Gary, I'll call him Gazar. That's how we do it in Australia. It's Scotty, I call you Scotty. It's Scott instead of Scotty. We'll get it all sorted out.
We'll get it. It's the first one. A lot of these drivers we've not seen before.
17 seconds left now, mate. That's it.
I think Scott's going to wrap this up, to be fair. I think Fowler's going to wrap it up in a 48.71.
Sorry, cut you off the yellow. First sector fastest.
Yeah, yellow sector 2. No. Unfortunately for him.
25 thousandths of a second, but that wasn't too bad. P3.
Unfortunately, none of them there got position. So here we go with the first grid of the United Touring Car Championship from Brands Hatch. And we've got Scott McFall. He is in pole position currently, with Balazs Torosky in second. Oliver Botanic in third. Nilton Cavallio is in fourth. Lewis Archer in fifth. Chris Byram is in sixth. Lee Southall is in seventh. Danny Bleak in eighth, with Daniel Thomas in ninth. Ivan Belkamp is in 10th place. Stathis Kokogiannis is in 11th. Elliot Hankin in 12th. Rob Sluter is down in 13th. Matt Turner is in 14th. Sean Roberts 15th. And Dudes Castro Nevis is in 16th. Luke Mitchell is in 17th. Dominic Herbert in 18th. Nicholas Marshall is in 19th. Elliot Hankin 20th. Alfie McGarrity in 21st. And Shane Dunn down in 22nd place. So there we go. That's the grid for the first one, dude. And what do we reckon?
Good job. Good job, James. So you got through those British names pretty easy, and that when you got stuck on the Greek driver there, Stathis, those Greek names are always fantastic. But that's Greek driver that was qualified in P11. You did great. You got through it. We got plenty of time to go. But yes, Nerv's it. Gridding up right now. So that's it, guys. Qualifying is qualifying. That's one thing. But you don't get points for qualifying. You get points for the race. And Scotty's going to be the one on the inside line there on the 23 car, just on the outside of him. To the right there will be Bals. I'll call him Balzer. That'll be the 16 car in the Hyundai.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Alpha McGarry and Shane Dunn to jump on to track. They've got about 10 seconds. So if they're not careful, they're going to not make the grid. So let's see what happens with them guys. Maybe they're not here. But we have still got 20 TCRs on track this evening, guys. And we're going to be waiting for the lights very, very patiently. Oh, there's a roller in the back there. And we're going to be green here. And Balazs Torosky got an absolute flyer. Took the lead over from Scott McFall. There's action in the back there as well. With this man, Ivan Balkamp, he's locked in 3 wide as they head up into Druids for the first time this evening for the 23-lap race. Live from round 1 at Brands Hatch, Indy. Elliot Hankin was one of the first victims of that, but has dropped down the order 1 place. He's all the way down into 13th. Currently up front there, Biggles. Not a bad start. No major incidents at the moment.
Yeah, just switch away between the front two. Yeah, somebody was caught napping off that line a little bit, and that dropped them. And Chris Bryan and Lee are now up a couple of places, P4, P5, P6. Got a gap forming already, really, between the top 3. That's how much of a launch they have. And that's almost a 1 second. Then you have that massive train all the way down to P17. I usually call it a DRS train, but there's no DRS in these cars, mate. Just man versus machine. And be very, very cautious. No fast repairs. 20 stopped on track somewhere. That's the car 20. 20th place, my apologies. That's Lewis Archer.
Oh, Lewis Archer is there in the barrier.
It's the fence.
Oh, what has been happening to Lewis? And here we go. We can have a look.
Yeah,
there he is on the outside. Car 46 goes up into 30s, into McLaren. Oh!
I don't think he got contact. I think he just lost it himself there. Very difficult to judge that one.
Yeah, I think he's just lost it completely on his own on that one. Unfortunately, that's put him into the pits for this one. But Scott McFall is under attack from Oliver Boltonick as he heads down into turn 1. Down from Paddock Hill. There's a change further down as well. Danny Bleak here is under attack from Nilton Carvalho on the inside. Can he make it through? He can't as they're heading up. Oh!
Yeah, he does make it through, actually, because somebody went a little bit wide.
Nilton's run wide there, unfortunately.
Nilton's also got no traction. He's got to lift off a little bit there. He's probably going to lose his position from behind if he can get the power down. Yeah, watch out for the Dutch drivers, mate. Just talk to Max Verstappen. They are very pacey these days in 2022, that's for sure.
Yeah, Danny. Danny's got done by Daniel. Daniel Thomas.
Yeah, Danny's had a. It looks like he might have got a. You have to lift. What's that called again?
Slow
Sorry, my
down.
apologies, but that. Yeah, slow down. That would look like a slow down for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately for Danny Bleak, he has dropped down the order into 7th place currently at the moment. But there are your winners and gainers and losers from, well, what we are, lap 4. Dominic Herbert is up 8. You can see it on the left-hand side there. He's made an absolute flying start. And the Englishman here has put himself up into 10th place currently. Now, that's an incredible gain, thinking as to where he started, mate. He was down in 18th.
Absolutely, and avoiding all the action at the start. That's something that sometimes it's the luck of the draw, isn't it? Put your hand in the lucky dip and see what you pull out. But still, it's early days at lap 4 of 23, and he's under pressure big time, as you can see on the outside. Who was that on the outside of him at the moment? That looks like maybe Luke, and there's Rob just lurking in the background there. And, yep, any little mistake right now. Brands Hatch is also, I remember too, there is a run. That's an absolute run as we go down the main straight.
Yeah, that's Luke Mitchell. He's going to be through. He's got the position. Job done for Luke. He is now up into 10th place. Dominic Herbert in 11th. Rob Sluter down in 13th. And then we've got Matt Turner behind him. Matt is at the back there from Zach Speed Pro Racing. And there he is trying to chase down. Oh, Daniel Thomas. Oh, there's a tyre.
Yeah,
he's
got a puncher. I don't think he can get out of the sand gravel trap like that. No, he's spinning. Hey, maybe I have to do a Sebastian Vettel and reverse that back up, but you can't now. Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, Daniel Thomas. Oh, he ran wide. Manages. Oh, he don't stop it. Look, can't stop it. Oh,
that's where he caught the tire puncher. There it was. There's the wheel right across the track right now.
There's the rest of it going off.
Do you want my first pun for this evening, mate? I don't think he had a really good time.
Oh, boom, boom, says the mighty Biggles. Punning
You're
it out.
going to get that all season long, my friend. You're going to get some puns from me. Don't worry about it.
It's something to look forward to, mate. Isn't it? As we can see further down, Rob Sluter is climbing all over the back of Dominic Herbert at this moment in time. He's got Luke Mitchell in front of him as well. These guys currently heading around, down through Graham Hill, and then off the Cooper Straight they go. This slight,
He's going to send it to the inside butt and try to commit to it. That's going to bring him on the outside. Exactly. And there's contact.
No, Rob Sluter's round. Rob Sluter's round.
Do you feel like he's going to feel bad about it and let him live through? Sometimes you see that sportsmanship, but we don't know. First season, they're not going to be the best of friends yet.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Dominic, what would you do? Dominic Herbert is kind of sitting back thinking, welcome to the world of touring car. Maybe Rob Sluter, the American, not used to the whole British BTC situation they got going on. That's just everyday love taps over here, mate. There's nothing to cry about on that one. But back up front, we got Tarosky
just don't
here.
Retire the car, of course, because we saw that tyre flying. There's another pun coming, of course. Scott is in second place there, so they've switched it back again. No, it was still continuing from what it was because Balzer, I'm calling him now, of course, is in the lead of this race. He's got Scott for company there. Don't forget Oliver, the Belgium driver. I mean, he's been around Spa. He knows the elevation changes left and right, and this is an elevation change. Actually, real quick there, I remember one of the guys that is a British that works on a radio station here locally in Panama. He told me about the days that he used to be test driving in some of the Lotus cars or something like that in Brands Hatch. He said the elevation changes are amazing. You can't see over the hill if somebody spins.
No, they are
fantastic.
Yeah, certain parts of it, mate, it is literally just a blind hairpin. But we got currently, mate, 4 cars in the pits currently. Lewis Archer, Elliot Hankin, Matt Turner is in, and Daniel Thomas. Dude, Castro Neves is there. Unfortunately, he is currently, I see him as a lap down. Support of Dude Castro Neves from Castro Neves Motorsport is unfortunately a lap down. However, Luke Mitchell, he is on the lead lap with Dominic Herbert, literally less than 0.34 behind him currently at the moment, and closing 3:29.28. You can see it on the left-hand side of your timing tower. Is he going to make the lunge down into turn 1? He's not. He keeps it clean for now, but I can see that battle materializing very soon. Now, this is another battle with Nilton Carvalho there in the front here. He's got Danny Bleak and Cocagiannis. I'll get that right by the end of this, mate, I'll tell you. Cocagiannis there is trying to close up in 8th place. He's up 3 at the moment. Luke Mitchell is up in 8th place.
Yeah, wait till you go to the Greek driver that's running in P8 as well, as you mentioned. But
there you go, mate.
Yeah, but behind him is both for Luke and Dominic that you mentioned for that little squabble. Look at the track map now, guys. Look at that. Our leaders now coming up to lapped cars. That will come into play. You can see there's a whole bunch of 4 cars in the pit lane right now. Massive repairs.
2 seconds, mate. That's it. Dominic Herbert just got through. Oh, he's not kept it on track. Oh, Dominic Herbert made that move over Luke Mitchell and unfortunately runs it wide. The dangers of Paddock Hill Bend there, mate. One little bit run wide and unfortunately you are in the gravel. Not good for anyone.
As long as you get out of the gravel is the key, isn't it? Not get beached in the gravel. I mean, I know you were visiting a beach just recently because of the hot weather that's occurring here in Europe and obviously they're heating up here in Brands Hatch as well. So, yeah, get it in and out if you can. You live to see another day. We're on lap 11 of 23, so we're approaching the halfway point. No pit stops are required in this race. We still have that battle up in the front there with Balzer and Scotty, tooth and nail, and they've dropped Oliver back to... sorry, Oliver's still in that party, but they dropped... Yeah, it's Mr. Chris Byron. In 78. Byron, sorry, yeah,
Chris Byron. He's got Lee Southall right up behind him at
Somebody's
the moment.
crashed their dudes as well. Two men pit down pick 16, but that's, he's already in trouble anyway.
Ooh.
Out of the pit lane, it must be.
No, well, I do wonder if he's come out the pits and his damage hasn't been repaired, mate, and he's had to stop and go back in.
Yeah, he stopped. He's stopped because he's allowing the lap cars through. Very good, nice driving. It's what we like to see, sportsmanship. Didn't want to get into that party and interrupt them, and he's just...
I'm just waiting there, mate, because you know when you pull away somewhere from a replay?
I know, it always happens.
And it goes off, and then next thing you know, he's spinning around somewhere. But I can't actually see...
I think that might have been just he's lifted...
coming out the pit lane.
Yeah, I think that's what he was. He was doing the right thing, did what allowed the quicker cars through and not be in their party. Knowing that, hey, what goes around comes around, he may very well be. They might be doing that to him later in the season. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly, as well. But I got a funny feeling. Dominic Herbert here, climbing all over the back of Luke Mitchell at this moment in time. And is not giving up very easily. And I think this could be a Luke Mitchell... Oh, he's going to have to defend, I think, from Dominic Herbert here. And, see how it goes. Different cars, but the same manufacturers.
The main straightaway, mate. This is it. You said as you go into Paddock Hill coming up, so it can climb up the hill. Can you get the inside line? You're going to make it stick to. You're going to make it brake. It'll compromise your exit speed. I think you very much have got it done. He has. He's coming to the outside track. He has the power down. Pedal to the metal as we come up the Druids.
No, Luke's coming back on the inside there. He is in the Velocista, and then we've got the Elantra of Dominic Herbert, who sends it back up the inside again on that base of Graham Hill Bend before he starts running up into Surtees now. And let's see if these guys... I think this battle is going to carry on probably for the next 9 laps here because these guys are looking like they're almost super glued to each other. And I can't see it changing.
I expect nothing less. Absolutely. Because it's just man versus machine. They don't have all these gizmos and extra things. There's no pit stop strategies here, so they've all started on the same tires. They have the same fuel, the same everything. Just a couple of position changes, of course, but they want to go through it because they're sizing up your opponent right now. Yeah, about halfway through the race. So now you've had enough time to see where they're making mistakes, where can you gain, where can you get an overtake. You can see if you send one up on the inside, of course, you compromise your exit. And that's going to be interesting. And it's all at play. Remember, you're bringing in the other guys behind you because Rob is also looking at them in the background and gaining as they battle. Look at this. Still battling. Where are they going through at the moment? Just having a look at track map. Yep, around
Clark last corner.
Yeah. So good exit out of Clark can get somebody in the paddock right here. We get a good run here.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say here again.
Here again. Can Luke Mitchell get Dominic Herbert as he's running down into turn 1? All this time, though, Rob Sluter, who's obviously a victim earlier on of an incident between Dominic and himself, has closed the gap up behind now. He's less than a second currently at the moment. You can see the 4 cars.
That's why you love battles. That's why you love battles, doesn't it? Because it allows you to catch them.
Yeah, you do. I sit back in the car as well. Sometimes wonder, can you take each other out for me? You know what I mean? You know,
you think it, but you don't really want it because you want to pass him on track, obviously, legitimately. But you know,
you're not going to turn away a free. Yeah, you're not going to turn away a free position, bro. It's never going to happen.
I think he's smart sitting back at the moment, but then again, look at this compromised exit speed, and now he's coming to play. And now Rob is going to be thinking, I can't sit back and watch this party anymore. I have to sit there and knock on the door because look at that. He's going to have a great exit speed. It's a short track once again. We're going to climb our way up in the hill into turn 1, lap 16. Am I mistaken on turn 1? I think it is.
Yeah, paddock hill. Yeah, coming down. Yeah, coming round the right-hander now as they're going up into Druids. Turning into a freeway, which is what we said Biggles might happen between Dominic Herbert, Luke Mitchell, and Rob Sluter here as they're heading around Graham Hill, coming up into Surtees and McLaren. This is going to be close. He's looking at the opposite in the inside. Sluter's going to look at trying to send it in too wide into Surtees. It's got to be... Oh, no.
Oh,
he's run wide.
Yeah, he's gone wide. Yeah, he went too deep in there because he was looking at defending him. And they decided too much looking in your rearview mirrors, I think, and compromised his exit speed. And that's a Luke having to lose that place there. Good. That's the prey, isn't it? It looks like Rob is on the prey right now. Rob's on the hunt. And if I was Dominic up the road there, I'd be thinking, okay, Rob is pretty pacey there. He's got the Rockstar and he's got a little bit of the Midas touch there with the gold on his car. Further up, you still have that same situation occurring between Ballast, Scott, and Oliver. Those guys are still battling it out too for now. And they're for the top points positioning so far, and we're getting down to business end, mate. 6 to go.
Yeah, we definitely are. Scott McFall is in second place. Oliver is in third. Less than 0.38. These guys have been in this since the beginning. Don't forget, Scott had pole position. Ballas was in second. And it looked like, from our point of view, though, because on the start, Ballas just literally flew away with it, didn't he? You know, I think we're going to have a look at the green again and just see... On board with Ballas here.
The bike clutch. Let's look at his clutch as he released it.
Look, he's just gone.
Yeah. That's why you practice your race starts, I guess, over and over and over again to get the right clutch point there. And as you hit the gas pedal, the loud pedal can hurt you. It can reward you and can hurt you. Get too much on it and you spin. And if you get at the right point, you're off like a rocket. Talk to Elon Musk.
Absolutely. Sean Roberts is unfortunately off track currently at the moment. He's looking in a very weird and wonderful position. Let's have a look and see what happened to Sean Roberts here as he's going up around McLaren. Runs very slowly round the outside.
I think he might have been letting some cars. He's letting some cars through here, and he's just he's just hit a little bit of the grass. So I think it's just an unfortunate because he was doing the right. It looked like he was doing the right thing and just letting a couple of quicker cars through. And then it's caught him off guard, and he's had to wait for the traffic.
Yeah, and then unfortunately he's gone off track. So there we go. That is Sean Roberts. He has gone into the pits as well. Rob Sluter has jumped Dominic Herbert. He's jumped Dominic Herbert, and I think that's going to be down into turn 1. We'll show you that in a minute once this one materializes and see how these guys get on here. But at the moment, Rob...
he's gone wide. They've both gone wide. That's the classic, following the other driver, not following a racing line. And it's lost in that place back.
Oh, no.
Absolutely. But keep an eye on Oliver as well, too, putting a lot of pressure on Scott because this is coming down to the business end. We have only 3 laps to go, and this is a time for Oliver to get that. He wants that P2. I don't know if the P1's up for grabs just yet, unless the man that's leading the race makes a mistake. But this is it. You can see that was almost the same place where the other drivers went wide. What can Ollie do? The number 45 car there from Belgium. He's going to try anything right now. He has to, doesn't it? 3 to go. You want a P2 or your P1, or is he happy just to settle on that in his first race? I don't know. But if gap car, right?
Yeah, he's just going to have to stick it in his pocket, pick him up, stick it in his pocket, and they're going to have to run like crazy, mate, because I tell you what, he's not going to be wanting to settle for that third place. He wants that second place, and he needs that second place, and he is charging down Scott all that while, and he's been going for about 21 laps. Ivan Balkamp as well. Look, he's caught up to the back of Luke Mitchell. Kuda works here. Oh, that's contact.
Yeah, that's a little reminder, mate. You gotta pick up the pace, otherwise I'm gonna get past you. So there'll be a little bit of Christmas cards maybe not exchanged during those two drivers. But remember, it's the first race. I'd have to say pretty clean overall. Compared to you said elbows are usually out when it comes to the first rounds and of these cars.
Yeah,
but, mate, a couple laps to go.
I thought that was it, mate. I thought Elliot, Luke in the background there was going to send it up in turn 1. I definitely thought he was going to be looking at coming back there because Dominic Herbert is still under attack from Rob. Sluter's already made it through. Oh,
There's contact again as well.
Another contact there. Poor Rob Sluter. He almost gets there, gets stuck, gets there, gets stuck.
I'm curious to see whether or not Oliver can do anything right now in P3. He's still a little bit too far back to take it to the Scotsman, named Scott, of course, the 23 car. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen to Balzi in the lead of this race. But whether or not Scott wants that P2, remember Scott started on pole, and he doesn't want to lose another place. If he's going to finish on the podium, podium's podium. Nothing wrong with that. 6 seconds down the road there from Chris Bryan, so it should not be a problem. Penultimate lap now. Where are you going to send it? This is it. First corner, you said, is always an opportunity, but it just seemed to be too far back, isn't it?
Yeah, white flag lap, as you can see from the top on your screen. It is white. It means we are on the white flag. This is it for Oliver. He has got to try absolutely anything to get past Scott McFall here in the sprint race.
Can we go on board with him and see how it looks like in his car as he's tucked up behind? I would like to see.
He's got to be digging in there really quite badly at the moment as well. Look.
Yeah.
Oliver's having a go.
We've seen this before, didn't we? Like you can't follow the car. You got to follow your own racing line. Just basically close your eyes and just don't even think there's a car there. Otherwise, that car goes running wide. You go running wide.
No, he's not going to make it, Biggles, but we have got Balaz Swarovski. He's going to come across the line in first place this evening. Scott McFall is in second there. Oliver Boltinek is in third. Chris Byram, who's not really seen much of him tonight, he's been in fourth place. Lee Southall is in fifth. Nilton Carvalho is in sixth. Here is Stathis Kokogiannis. There we go. Got it right. Is in seventh. Rob Sluter's past Dominic Herbert.
Again, yeah, he got it done.
Got it done, didn't he?
Must have been USA, mate. Yeah, you never give up. From America, from the RD Motorsport. Getting it done. Beating the British, of course.
Dominic Herbert comes across the line in ninth. Ivan Bokamp in 10th. Luke Mitchell, Elliot Hankin. Oh, I think Luke Mitchell got that. And then we got Nicholas Marshall after that one there as well. So absolutely astonishing display from these guys as we now look at the results from race one. There we go, Biggles. Over to you, young sir.
Yeah, you're going to get me to do those names, of course. I'm going to say Balzi got that one. He kind of controlled that race from the start there. Over Scott, the Scotsman. Oliver tried to bring it towards the end, couldn't quite get it done. Chris was having a little bit of a lonely race there in P4, but got the job done. You got Lee, you got Nilton. I think there's a Stathis, the Greek driver. He was quite solid, delivered what he needed to do. Rob, wow, what a rain comeback there for the US driver. He was battling his way through the field there. And with Dominic and Ivan, Luke Mitchell had a little bit of a moment there. Elliot, there's Dudes, Nicholas Marshall, Danny Bleak, Sean Roberts, are easier names, of course, there as we go. Matt Turner, Daniel Thomas, that's P18. As we scroll over there, 19 laps down. There was a lot of basically early retirements, wasn't there? There because there was Lewis Archer, of course. So he went off pretty early there into the fence. Quite sure Alfie and Shane done. But
yeah,
hey, what's not done, my friend, is that's just the first sprint race.
Yeah, I don't think that Shane and Alfie are in the session.
Yeah, okay.
Not entirely sure about that one.
What happened to it? What happened to the boss man?
What happened to the boss man? Well, we saw him, unfortunately, put it into the wall. That's what happened to the boss man.
And he's probably going to be sitting there going, well, the wall hit me. And so that maybe we'll have to look at the wall being unreported. But
is that how we're going to look at it?
Now. Yeah, warm up for the... Hey, as a driver, mate, you always never accept blame. You always put the blame on somebody else, of course, because you're earning your $1 million paycheck. Of course, no, of course. This is fun feature, obviously. Esports racing. You don't need to pretend that you're Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, and they're told to say that. Their agents tell them to say that because they're under contract. We're here to have fun.
Exactly. That's literally why the main thing is here in this league and in this race. You know, they desperately want to have fun. They've got to now, and the thing is though, they've got to sit back and think, okay, well, I got to do this now. We've got 35 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And they've got to kind of settle back if they've had a poor race one, I think would be the terminology, because I think they've got to settle in and think, okay, now I've got this. Let's do this properly. Do you know what I mean? They've had that opportunity.
Yeah. And it's a sprint race in the first one, so no pit stops, just go, 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 flat as you possibly can, not worry about anything else, not worry about tires, not worry about gas. Now it comes down to a situation where you have to start thinking a little bit more engineering. You have to start thinking a little bit more strategy. So you have to do what you just did in the previous round, and also take into consideration, when am I going to pit? You have to pit. How much gas am I going to take on? I doubt tires will even be an issue, but that'll be the situation. When? Not if, but when. And how is that going to change the undercut, the overcut, and all that situation? So add the extra element into this great racing already, a little bit more time, and then, of course, a little bit more points. So that's what's going to happen right now, mate, because they're in their warm-ups. They're pretty familiar with those tracks right now because they've done quite a few laps around Brands Hatch. Loving the liveries out there, guys. Any particular livery you got? We haven't had a chance to go through all of them yet, have we, there, James? Because there's been some pretty great racing.
Yeah, not much. That's Lewis Archer. We didn't see much of him in race 1 due to obviously the issues he had. Overshooting it, cold tyres, and then unfortunately putting it into the wall. So, you know, it's one of them things.
That's maybe something we could look at doing in the pre-show, maybe in the future for the next rounds and stuff like that. We can go through all the liveries and maybe throw a poll up there in the YouTube chat. Hey, I'll tell you what, that may be something they can look at. If we're going to be awarding points for the drivers to have the least amount of racing incidents, maybe and awarded a point there for the driver with the best livery as voted by the public. See, I'm throwing extra ideas out here. I like this, because I like the audience to have some sort of involvement, or even somehow finding a way to influence something. Not massively, but it's kind of like in Formula E, isn't it, mate? When you have the fan boost.
Yeah, I do like that, and obviously they got the offline as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're just
what
throwing ideas out, of course. That is not the actual situation here at United Touring Championship, but that's something that will be up for suggestion. And by the way, if you guys want to be a part of that and maybe throw some suggestions out, all the information will be provided there, I believe, there in the YouTube channel, mate. So you can be part of the Discord and sign up.
Now, all links are below, guys, so you can come and join us. We've got an absolute epic season of racing going on this season, and definitely you don't want to miss it. It's going to be absolutely incredible, as we have said on numerous occasions. But now, 4.5 minutes left of warm-up. Then we're going into the feature race. Who's your money on?
Oh, I'm not a gambling man, my friend, because if you gamble, you always lose. But if I was just to gamble for fun, I'd have to... Oh, wow, it's interesting. I liked Oliver's pace. I really did towards the end. I think it was coming back, but finding a place to overtake. Obviously, the driver that kind of just ran away with that one at the start there, really throwing it into me as to who's who at the moment, running through those names. It's very interesting. Yeah, no, you've just thrown a dummy at me, mate. Scott, of course, has got the pace. Yeah.
So who was that, then? Out of all, you sat on the fence and you didn't give me anyone.
Yeah, I'm just saying, look, I pretty much guarantee you that the driver I think that might win this race will be the driver that finishes across the line first.
Wow.
You like how I avoided that question?
Yeah, I like how the fact that you did. And also as well, I'd just like you to go away and get some tweezers and pull the splinters out of your bottom because you've just sat on the fence for so long. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you do, my friend. When you're an experienced caster and you get asked the questions as who do you think's what, you just go, yeah, maybe. Oh, somebody's into the gravel trap. I think you played around that gravel trap when you were a kid, didn't you? You get your little what's that, Matchbox cars out there and pretend that you're a Formula 1 driver. That's what you did. Yeah, that's what you did.
Shh. I mean, this might have been this one with Nicholas Marshall. He's got down turn 1, Graham Hill. There he goes.
Yeah. He kept it. You got to keep it straight and just lift the gasoline and keep going straight. Yeah, because as soon as you oversteer, you spin in that gravel trap and you'll be playing sandcastles with James.
Oi. Look, you're only jealous.
Hey, you're the beach earlier, mate.
So mate, you're only jealous because you're not there yourself. That's all it is.
Mate, I live in tropical paradise. I lived in a beach 5 minutes away from me an all time of my life. I'm done with beaches. Like, I'm over beaches. I'm in a jungle paradise right now. I swing from the trees.
Shush. You go off people like you know what I mean?
See what you guys got on the warm-up session at the moment. You got to start about, but then again, because the chat's quiet, mate. They're not asking us any questions about the league or anything, or what's going on, how they can sign up, how they can be a part of it. You can borrow my GDR Skyline to race around here. Unfortunately, it's not in the category class, so you'll have to go up to the GTs for that one. You can borrow James's car. Maybe he's beefed it up enough.
No, mate. There's no point borrowing my car. My car is a 7-seater people's van. So
somebody has kids.
Yeah, I've got a few. You know, but it's not really going to do a lot for you. Unlike your Skyline's a little bit more beefy, shall we say?
I wouldn't have any kids in my Skyline, mate. I'd be scared to tell them the booster. I don't think a booster seat could fit in the back of the Skyline, mate. Not that I would want to put a booster seat if you had a small child.
I'd have to put a booster seat in, mate. My little one's only 5. So she would need a booster seat, Biggle. So you'd have to compensate for my child.
Do you put the future Formula, what is it? The Formula female series on board sticker?
Oh yeah, the W series.
Probably that one. Yeah, the Formula W series on board sticker. There it is.
Okay.
What do you say? Somebody's saying what a move at the moment. Are you looking at it? We're not looking at a replay. This is the just a warm-up session there.
Yeah, we're looking at.
Sorry, mate.
We're aboard with Kokogiannis.
Giannis, yep, the Greek driver.
So,
I'm loving these Greek names, mate. I'd love to try to fill that in. Obviously, if you're, filling your immigration card in to the United States of America or something, there's never enough room in the immigration card when you're putting your name in. Nothing opposed to him, of course. I'm just saying they never. When you're filling out forms and they never allow enough room.
They give you some little box and then ask you for about 20 pieces of information.
Dutch drivers have middle and same Spanish people. Oh, somebody's facing the wrong direction. 2 people facing the wrong direction.
Well,
it's just a warm up, but
that's not Lewis Archer.
Don't park the car on the main straight.
That's Lewis Archer.
You're lucky those cars can be back there and the pit crew don't have to repair them overnight or at least in the next 10 seconds.
That was just a little bit crazy.
I think you should allow that, right? So if you get damaged during the warm-ups, you're perhaps out
done.
for the... you should be done. You should be.
You are harsh, Biggles. I tell you much. You are...
Mate, we have no fast repairs. How harsh can I be? That's the league.
You're a tough man. You're a tough man. All right, so here is the grid for race 2 with Shane Dunn in first place. Alfie McGarity is in second. Are they in the session? Probably not. Lewis Archer could be in third. Full reverse, guys, if you're wondering what's happened. We've got a full reverse grid. Lewis Archer in third. Elliot Hankin in fourth. Daniel Thomas in fifth. Matt Turner in sixth. Sean Roberts in seventh. Danny Bleak in 8th. Nicholas Marshall in 9th. Duke Castro Neves is in 10th place. Elliot Hankin is down in 11th. Luke Mitchell in 12th. Ivan Bokamp is in 13th. Dominic Herbert 14th. Rob Sluter down in 15th. Staffis Kokogiannis is in 16th. Nilton Cavallio is in 17th. Lee Southall 18th. Chris Byram 19th. Oliver Boltinick in 20th. Scott McFall 21st. And Balav Starowski is in 22nd place. Full reverse grid. Now that's
25 points for the first place. 16th place gets 1 point. So points are up for grabs. We only have 20 drivers, so you can pretty much guarantee a point if you get the job done.
Oh, we're away again already here in the feature race. 32 laps of racing. And look at Lewis Archer. He's got an absolute barnstorming one, but a 3 wide going down into turn 1. Oh, no. Elliot Hankins off. He's off. Yeah, he's off in the gravel, Biggles.
He's got a little bit of tweak on that car, isn't it? The tweaks. Yeah, Archer's gone, mate. He's just pulled that string back and shot that arrow way out of the planet. He's already in Silverstone, where he is still in Brands Hatch. But look at that. The other battling that's going on at the moment, Elliot and Sean. Daniel's up into P2, the Canadian driver. That's good to see him there. And all the other kerfuffling that's occurring on. Sounds like a little town meeting here in Brands Hatch.
Yeah, Nicholas Marshall, I believe, has ventured off track. Here he is. Stasiv Kokogiannis. What? Did he get caught in?
Yeah. Oh, and also the US driver that did such a fantastic job before. He's in the pit lane.
And Mitchell.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the Kokogiannis off. Ooh.
That's gearbox. I'm looking up his gearbox, and that's straight into the a different camera angle than you do. That's into the fence. Yep. That's damage.
Unfortunately, that is not good. Let's have another look.
Chris Byron's damage. Matt's damage. There's a few people now.
Yeah. Let's see if we get it from the TV cam so we can see what actually happened. There's Mitchell.
Yep.
Oh, that's Kokigiannis is in there in the wall, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a few others seen in the background. Yeah, there's a couple of drivers that reacted
Elliot
to
Hankin as well. Yeah, that's Hankin who was actually started the initial incident there as well. So Lewis Archer currently coming around in first place for GTR Evolution.
Oh, that's Rally Car 101. He kept it, but that's nice to see that from Lewis Archer. A few people in the pit lane as well too, Mr. Roberts and Herbert, as well as Mr. McFall. So yeah, taking early pit stops or damage. Looks like maybe damage. Look at that. That's damage. Look at that. That car is on fire.
Oh, did he
How do you get damaged like that? Is that just a tire that's
could be just blow the engine, mate. He could have just blown.
You can blow the engine?
Yeah. Oh. You can blow the engine, and I think, unfortunately, if that's what Scott McFall has done, he's done. Oh. That's going to be a 30-odd minute repair in a 35-minute race.
Wow.
In a 32-lap race, he's done. Scotty McFall.
Finished in P2. In the previous round, it could be very much. I have to say, it's pretty much out of at least.
I think it's going to be done here, mate, and that's the thing. Yeah. But Lewis Archer, all the while, he's opened up 5 seconds. Rob Sloot allows it through over Daniel Thomas, both from GTR Evolution there, and Nilton Carvalho is in third place, currently literally 0.2 seconds back. That kind of just seemed to be a bit of a chaotic beginning, didn't it? Because it's kind of, do you know what I mean?
Because they'd gone through the first lap, they went through the first lap, I have to say, in the previous sprint race gingerly. Now it was just like, you know what, to the floor, hit the pedal, go, go. The loud pedal was very loud, and then it's changed the situation up in the moment. So now we have the Canadian driver, 96 versus the 99 car of Nilton, the Portuguese driver. Hey, Portuguese drivers versus Canadian drivers. I didn't say it very often. I love it seeing it right now. Lee's a little bit further down the background, the British driver. That's because too many Brits. Too many Brits and Dutch people in motor racing. We need to see more Canadians. We need to see more Portuguese.
I think it's great to see the American contingency in here as well.
And the more Americans, exactly. Yeah. Rob is there, mate. I tell you, he's still in P5, and you know what Rob can do.
Here's Luke Mitchell and Elliot Hankin. They are side by side. Oh, he tucks in behind him. Elliot is currently in front of Hankin at the moment. So Hankin there in a 9.39, chasing down and
it's all the nines, mate.
It's all the nines, mate.
Exactly.
Too many nines.
There's also an 89 car of Lee behind them as well, too. So I guarantee you, at the moment, you have a 9 if you're in the top second, third, and fourth. You have a 9 in your number.
However, Daniel Thomas is got currently Nilton Carvalho climbing all over the back, literally all over the back of him as he heading round Paddock and up into Druids now. Oh, Nilton's going to try the inside line. He's going to send it. Oh, it's going to be. Can he hold it, Biggles? What do you reckon?
He's got to hold it because the inside line will come back here now. Exactly. Yeah, get into it. Because it switches the route, and he got another left-hand turn, but no, he's at the lift off and go behind. Get the toe, live to see another day. We're lap 6 of 32, plenty of time, but they get to take a pit stop, of course. It is mandatory.
It is mandatory. Lee Southall, however, is now closed up the back of these three, so we're going to be in for a dramatic three-way battle. Stay tuned, guys, because this is going to go
That's
absolutely
what you want to see,
crazy.
Mate. Should we go to a commercial break? And no, we won't go to commercial break. Here it is again, Daniel. Trying to take the charge around the Portuguese driver's parking that car in all the right places. That Portuguese driver, of course, is Nilton. He's not making it easy, mate. He's like, okay, you want to... Oh, and look at that. Sneak up the inside is Lee.
Stafford's trying to go as well. Daniel Thomas, unfortunately, has just kind of been caught up and absolutely under pressure.
Yeah. I think he was maybe looking too far forward and forgot about the other guy driving behind. And now he has to be looking at his rearview mirrors. Most drivers complaining, going, I can't see anything behind my rearview mirrors. That's an excuse in F1, not an excuse at the moment in these cars, my friend. Touring cars, you do have mirrors.
Yeah, they do on the side.
To go up the road.
I think that's the thing now. Daniel and Lee have got to kind of be a little bit more sort of sensible and go, okay, well, look, we need to close down a Carvalho. He's in second place. we've got to kind of get hold of him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise they're going to be fighting. As we can see, Southall's on the left-hand side of your screen.
No, he's got a lefty up. He's throwing the dummy to throw him off, so he throws his racing line. I've seen that before. It's a lot of mental games, as you know. When you're racing, you want to in their mirrors, all they see is a car and thinking, okay, he's gone for it, but they don't. And then you change your strategy. At the moment, Lewis is on the team ready going, is there anybody behind me? Because I can't see him. As he's 6 seconds and change down the road.
6 seconds on the road.
Yeah.
He's already gone.
He's just wondering what's going on.
He's just like, see you later.
Yeah. Guys, I'm already in Silverstone having a party, so where are you? Brands Hatch? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We see Rob Sluter and Balazs Tarowski here.
Bad exit.
Balazs won the first race, of course. Rob Sluter here had that absolute epic battle. Takes the inside line for turn one, manages to keep it on track. Can he hold Balazs back? I don't think he is. Here he goes. He's going to send it, mate. He's going.
Yeah.
Oh, done. Job done. He's now up 17 places.
I called Balak, didn't I? I called him. I said the Belgium, whatever you call somebody from Belgium, I can't remember the specific term, but yeah, and these two drivers, I'd have to say, are some of the fastest and quick-moving drivers that we've seen so far in this series, and this is the second one, of course, the feature race. These two, I would imagine this could be a repeat situation that will occur over and over again all season long.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rob was just unlucky in that last race. He had that absolute epic scrap, and you know, he just couldn't quite progress that. You know, he managed to get the place from Dominic at the end of the race. But I can guarantee he's probably sitting in the car wishing he'd managed to get that at the beginning because, you know.
I know what he was saying in the car, mate. He was going,
I'd probably.
Oh, is this a little DP on this? Yeah.
Oh, this is
for now.
Boltinic as well. He's coming
joined. They're going to go for it, mate. I can guarantee the Siamese twins right now on track. Probably best of buddies off track, but on track they're mortal enemies.
Yeah, down in 12 and 13. Elliot Hankin and Luke Mitchell are still having their own little battle. The Demon Twigs GTR TC car here, and Luke Mitchell from Utopia Racing still trying to get hold, you know, having their own little.
And Rob's going the pit lane, so Rob's take the undercut, but keep an eye on that battle, of course. So yeah, Rob's is going the pit lane. But keep an eye on that battle, because we did see Mr. Twigs go, the Demon Twigs go into, you know, go a little bit wide earlier and mowing the lawn, so he's still back at
Luke
it.
Mitchell went past. Luke Mitchell went past at that point. He went past, and this is how it happened. Deep into Druids, and Mr. Mitchell sneaks through up on the inside.
Kept the racing line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep the racing line.
So Daniel Thomas here is still, well, he seems to have got ahead of. No, he's still trying to close down Nilton Cavallio and still trying to keep Lee Southall behind him. So this is going to be an interesting one as this battle materializes.
It's Battle of the Commonwealth right now, isn't it? It's Battle of the Commonwealth. It's Britain versus the Canadians, and Daniel's been doing a fantastic job gaining 2 positions. But I tell you what, he's got to realize on team radio, Lee is behind you. He's gained 14 positions. But if I was an engineer, I wouldn't even tell the driver that. I would just go, keep going, put your blinkers on like you're a racehorse, and focus what's ahead, not what's behind you.
I think that's the thing. They've got to look at what's ahead. They can't look at what's behind them, because if they start doing that, it's going to start going completely wrong. And that's the last thing these guys want.
I suppose they do it in F1, don't they? They say the guy behind you is quicker or something like that. He's like, you don't tell a driver that. I don't know why they do it. Like, you got to. If I was confident right now, I'm telling Daniel, forget about it. Just go. Drive your racing line. Drive as fast as you can. If he's trying something at the moment, obviously you'll get that notification that he will. But he's defending. He's defending like a true Canadian champion. So we'll see if he can do it for a little bit more. Now it's going to come to the territory. When are you thinking about pit lanes? And we'll keep an eye on who did box a little bit earlier, which was Luke has boxed, as well as a couple of other drivers. We'll keep an eye on those times.
Lewis has boxed as well.
Yep.
Lewis Archer is now down in 6th, but everybody else above him has not. And what's interesting is he's the lead car in front of Nilton. So Nilton is currently your leader. Nilton Cavallio is your leader. Daniel Thomas has in 2nd place. Southall 3rd. Tarowski 4th. Boltinic in 5th. And then, of course, we've got Lewis Archer, your initial leader, who went in and has taken his pit stop. Everybody else above him, Biggles, has not, including this man, Elliot Hankin, who's still carrying on his battle with Luke Mitchell, but has still got to make a pit stop currently. So there you go. So it's going to be interesting to see as we.
My telemetry's all over the place, mate, because I'm not even seeing Lewis Archer with a pit stop yet. But I'm sure, as you said, it is, because there's no way that man was leading the race and dropping down to P6 unless I made a mistake.
No, he's in the pits. I've got him as in the pits at the moment. So yeah. He's gone
I'm just
through.
I'm just testing to see if anyone's paying attention out in the chat, but they're not, so it's fine. The GTR Revolution car lead P6 provisionally leading this race, of course, but got traffic up the road, and yeah, he has to overtake. There's no blue flags. You're not going to give that position up because he is literally in track position.
Yeah, Southall's also in the pits now as well. So Southall's in, Ballas is in. Don't forget, they've just got to stop and go again. So that's it, literally, for them. So
is anybody taking fuel? I mean, he's been on those pit stop times.
No fuel. I think it's just pit lane time straight through. By the looks of it,
just a wave to your engineer.
I am wondering. Yeah, maybe I don't even think actually they've got to stop there because all the pit lane times are similar.
Drive through then.
Drive through, yeah. I think it's going to be. Well, keep an eye on Nilton because he's going to be coming up. He's got to be thinking about doing his pit. Well, maybe not on this one.
What's the gap? What's the gap to the leader there?
Oh, there you go. Let's have a look.
Daniel's in. Yeah.
I know we were saying that they don't take fuel and tyres, but I do wonder if they've even got to pull in, you know. I think it's just going to be.
Let's have a look at Daniel, the Canadian driver that was battling it out, obviously, before too with Lewis. See, he goes straight through, yeah.
Straight through.
That's just a drive through because it's mandatory. Okay.
Yeah, but there you go. He's coming out now.
Traffic. You got to get ahead of this traffic. He does. Maybe.
Is he going to?
It's going to be crucial for him. He can't get held up right now. And he does.
He stays ahead of Ballas and stays ahead of Sean Roberts as well. Ballas looks coming in. No, he's got in the inside of Druids. That's it. He's got to leave him room, though. Daniel's trying to make a gap there, Biggles. He's trying to make something that's not there.
Yeah, and there could be a little bit of contact there. Someone's going wide. Keep an eye for 16 in the background as well because he's putting pressure on. Coming back on the track, hopefully safely, will beat the 89 car. And look at this. It's going to be a great... These drivers have come in and out of the pit lane, I believe. So that's it. This could be... It's going to go to the end of the race.
Straight to the end now, mate. Straight to the end. Nilton
so
Caballero.
Daniel might be very happy that he has managed to lead that pack.
Yeah,
Nilton. Our race leader still doesn't come in.
But we've only got two. Him and Oliver, second place. Botanic and Carvalho are the only two that not gone in at the moment. But Daniel Thomas, he made it out before these two Biggles, but unfortunately, both the two he's got behind him are not slow. Ballas to the win.
He's struggling right now to keep it up, but he's holding him up. Who's that going to help up the road? Maybe Lewis Archer. Obviously, will help Lewis Archer, but will help the other 1 and 2. The two drivers yet to box, Nilton and Oliver. As if he's slowing them up, that's going to definitely come into play. But I'll tell you what, Daniel's thinking about Daniel's race, not thinking about their race.
I'll tell you what, Daniel, if he's running team racing with Mr. Archer himself, he's doing a stellar job here because at the moment, Lewis Archer has managed to open up an 11-second gap over Daniel Thomas.
Do you think he's sucking up to the boss here at the moment? It's not going to work, my friend.
No, he's just got to take him. He's just got to take him an apple, mate. Isn't he? That's literally it. You know what I mean? Take an apple, dear sir.
He's not thinking about it that for sure. I'm absolutely sure he wants to defend this position as tooth and nail because this position is obviously going to turn into a podium, depending on the 99 and the 45 that are leading this race are yet to box, and we don't know. Well, the pit stop time, if we get a little gap to leader as well, too, we can show on the intervals. Is what are we looking at for a pit stop here, in and out, because it's a drive-through essentially. What's the times we're getting for that?
It's 19 seconds.
So it's a 20, let's say, yeah.
Flat out 20.
What's the gap right now between Nilton and Thomas that we're seeing P4?
16. 16.7.
Okay. Well, so Nilton will come in and out ahead.
He should do, yeah. Just about, I think. However, the gap has gone down to Daniel Thomas, down to 11 seconds. No,
this must be frustrating everybody behind him.
Yeah, because he's going to lose time. Nilton's still got to go in and come back out again. That's it. That's all he's got to do.
This could be clever. Long strategy play. So the overcut is paying off way better than the undercut at this point, especially if you're tucked up behind, a.k.a. Daniel, if you're likes of Ballas, Lee, Sean Roberts, Dominic, they just can't do anything about this man.
None.
Daniel Thomas.
Thomas is putting his car in the right position, mate, and there's just nowhere for him. There's nowhere for anybody balanced behind him. Just cannot get past him. The winner of your sprint race is sitting in 5th place currently at the moment, and there's nowhere for him to go. Yeah. He's stuck behind Daniel Thomas, and that is it. Daniel Thomas is doing a stellar job, dude.
I got some team radio from his car at the moment. He's going.
Yeah.
And yeah, and but that's it. That's what you time your strategy right. So probably played it wrong. It's the first race, of course. You're going to be thinking about that. He's going to
try. Too wide into Santis. That's going to well.
Yeah, you can't do it there. Lucky you don't go around. And this is a desperation that's creeping in. Now, be very, very careful. Remember, points are up for grabs here. 21 to 32. If you go around right now, considering how close they are, you've just dropped a whole bunch of points, and you got to have a bit of patience. But it's very hard to tell a driver that.
You tell them they're going to have patience, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You got to radio the balance, dude. You got to be patient. You got to be patient. Because that.
He's like, shut up, James.
Yeah. Just let me drive.
He's gone wide. This is it now.
He's got the inside. He's got the inside for Graham Hill. So he's not losing anything by doing that. The only difference is Daniel Thomas currently on for 18 and Ballast is currently on for 14.
Line, but it's going to turn to the outside line through the S's.
It's not going to make it because he can't. He can't get it there. Ballast
now the frustration's creeping in. Now the frustration's creeping in.
Ballast is trying to send this from every possible angle he physically can. Daniel's just got to keep. Look at the gap though. He's not going to do it. He can't go around the outside, mate. Daniel, if he goes around the outside, if I was Daniel, I would let that car run wide. And the only way his balance is going to go is into that gravel. He's dived. He's going for it now. Look, in Druids.
Yep, he's actually got this one. Be careful. Look at that. And the 89 car says, anything you can do, I can do as well. He may very well. Side by side, a little bit of bumping and grinding. It's okay, allowing enough space. Who's going to get it? 89's going to have the outside going wide. He's going to have to back off behind and sneak in. Always a little bit of suspension damage, perhaps go over there. But there it is what it is. And look at that. That's actually now allowed Nilton to sneak up on the road a little bit more.
Nilton has gone into the pit, so he's dropped down. He's got his drive through, 19.35 seconds. He's come out still in 3rd place. And Nilton Carvalho is still in 3rd. Oliver Boltinick is the only man who has not pitted yet. And he's only got 9 laps.
Yeah. He's got 1.6 gap to Lewis Archer. And Lewis Archer's already taken his pit stop, so
there he is.
Oliver's now thinking, where am I going to get within the top 10 more than anything?
Well, Oliver now he's got it's a 19-second gap to Daniel Thomas in 5th is only 15 seconds. Lee Southall is only 15.9. Sean Roberts is only 16, and Dominic Herbert is about 20. So if he's not careful, Oliver Boltinick could come out as far down as 8th place.
And we see what happens too. If you get stuck behind traffic, you could be in big, big trouble.
Yeah, and he's just gone past Elliot Hankin as well. So that was the first piece of traffic he's had to deal with. Nicholas Marshall has unfortunately had a crash in this one. Let's see what they have been up to. So difficult to keep this, mate. Too deep.
Luckily, he stayed there and didn't go back on the racing line. It
so difficult to keep them cars on track once they hit the grass. Oliver still not going in. 24 or 32. Still not going in.
He can wait until the penultimate lap. He's allowed to, according to the rules.
Yeah, but would you really want to?
Because, no, I like it because the thing is, you're allowing the other drivers behind you to battle it out. Now, a couple of drivers spin and stuff like that. Now you got a little bit more breathing space.
Dominic Herbert and Elliot Hankin here are side. Why is there 2 Elliot Hankins in this session? There's one. There's the other one.
Because he's a very popular name, obviously. That's great.
Imagine, I'm not dreaming this, am I? There is 2.
No, you're not. Actually, on my telemetry, I'm only seeing 1. So, yeah.
Well, I've got this one here, right?
They're playing tricks with you, mate. That's all
it is.
Mate,
he's behind Dominic Hankin. Now I've got this one. Can you see this car?
In car 15, I'm saying, oh, yeah, you are right. Yeah, there is 2. Sorry. I was just testing you. I'm sure this is what they're doing at the moment here at the United Touring Championship. They're just making sure you're paying attention. Look at that. It's not NASCAR. It's not bump drafting. It's one of the Elliots, that's for sure. It's the 47 car Elliot. I guarantee you that.
I'll tell you what, somebody's name has definitely gone into the system incorrect here.
Keep
and
an
it's
eye
coming
out
back.
for Rob in the background, mate. You know what Rob can do? He sits back and he's ready to pounce. He's waiting. Rob did it in the sprint race. He's sitting there going, okay, guys, make a mistake.
Oh.
And I will just clean up on aisle 7, clean up on aisle Clark Curve, perhaps. Let's have a look. He's gone for it. That's Rob. On the inside of Elliot, one of the Elliots. Yep, getting it done.
Hold on, I am going to look at this because this can't be right. I am pulling up the internals. Yes.
It is possible to have two names. It's not impossible. It's to see
I'm
a side
not
by
saying
side
it's
battle.
impossible. I'm just saying it's highly unusual that we've got two names.
Yeah, true. In all my broadcasting career, look at this run at the moment there too from this. Is it Rob?
Yeah,
on his
from
fellow
Chris
American
Byron.
as well.
No, Chris Byron.
Yeah, Chris Byron. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. I tell you what, man, he's got some serious racing pace.
I have got this horrible, funny feeling, right, that is Scott Gibbons in the other car.
And then Rob, no, I'm going to keep it. Go further. I want to see the Rob battle here. He's going for it tooth and nail a little bit further. That's Rob in P8. As he's got somebody coming back at him here. That's Elliot. No, that's Rob. There's Rob. And there's, I'm sure it's Sean, isn't it?
Yeah, Dominic Herbert.
Oh, it's Herbert.
Herbert's behind him, isn't he?
Yeah, Herbert. That's right. Yep. So it's Independence Day, perhaps. The Redcoats, maybe. I'm not going to get into the whole Independence War. But I tell you what, it's definitely United States versus England. Yeah.
I've got a funny
Rob is
feeling.
just on fire, mate. Absolutely on fire.
Absolutely on fire. You carry on for a minute while I correct what I have got. This funny feeling of what has happened.
We're testing you, mate. Yeah, we did that deliberately. We were giggling before on the pre-show going. We'll see whether or not James will pay attention to this anyway.
Wait, there you go. Scott Gibbons. It's Scott Gibbons. I've worked out. For some reason, Scott
Gibbons. Number 1 or the number 2, Scott? Which one?
Don't start that.
That's Elliot, actually.
No, Scott Gibbons is in 11th place. He's got Luke Mitchell tucked up behind him currently at the moment. And we've got Chris Byram in front of us. So there we go. We've resurrected the issue. And,
I guarantee there's only one Oliver, and the only one Oliver still has yet to box.
He hasn't got long, mate. He's only got, what, another 3 laps? He's got to get it done.
And we know it's, what, a 20-second pit stop?
20-second drive-through.
So what will he drop? What will he drop? He is currently...
I've got him in just after 6th. Lee Southall. Yeah, here we go.
Right. He's in. Yep. Spot your braking point. Get there. The beeps going in there. So the Belgian driver. And that means he's going to be listening to those cars going boom, 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 pass. That means pass, 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 pass. It's going to hurt, of course.
It might be all right.
It's the gamble he took.
It might be all right. I think he's going to get out in 4th.
Oh, going to be close.
He's going to
get the power down.
There
Yes, he will.
He did. He come out in 4th place.
He's got clean air with 2 laps to go, but that's a lot of work. But still, points are points.
But he's currently sitting in 3rd at the moment. Boltonic is in 3rd. But Archer...
I'll tell you what, yeah.
Now
and you think about this, Oliver, P17 to P3. Niton up the road, the Portuguese driver, P15 to P2. So whatever strategy they've done is working brilliantly.
Oliver, don't forget, Oliver's down in
brilliantly.
20th place, mate. 20th place. He was one of the
holding
last.
It out.
Yeah.
And to the lap 30 to box is brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly worked. Lewis Archer's gained 2. It's his race to win, no problems, unless he makes a mistake. I don't think at the moment that Oliver could do anything about Nilton up the road. But, hey, I'll take a podium any day of the week. If I started 17 places, but if I started in P20 and I finished in a podium, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, these are the Scott Gibbons, Dominic Herbert, and Luke Mitchell having this absolute epic scrap as we've got basically 1 and 1 more to go. So coming around paddock now.
This is when it gets
Gibbons
messy.
runs wide.
Yeah. You also got to remember, if you're telling your driver as an engineer going, guys, okay, points are points, all right? You make a little mistake right now. You've dropped like 3, 4, 5 points in this championship. It's early days, but yeah, once again, drivers don't listen.
No, they don't, mate. Why would they? We're on the final lap.
lap.
Yeah, final lap of the race, and that's Lewis Archer They're in first place. Currently, Nilton Cavallio is in second. Oliver Boltonic in third. Balas Tarowski in fourth. Daniel Thomas is in fifth. But this is Dominic
Somebody's going
Herbert,
around here, mate.
Somebody's
going around. Then be careful. Close your eyes. Hold on. Put your table upright and your seat table upright and your seat belts fastened, because we're about to land in the first race of the season here for Brands Hatch. This will be the feature race, the last race of tonight. And somebody might be into the medical center. Somebody might be rewarded with some crucial points. But I'll tell you what, Dominic's going to bring it here to Chris Bryant up the road there. Alec is in the background. Lewis Archer should be able to win this one.
Yeah, there he is.
As he will right now. Is he a happy camper? Of course, why not?
Yeah.
Flashing in the background there will be a man that started for P15. Sorry, 15 positions gained. And Oliver should be flashing his lights as well, too. From 17th up into P3 to finish the podium.
Daniel Thomas comes across the line in fifth. Lee Southall in sixth. Sean Roberts in seventh. Rob Sluter in eighth. Chris Byram comes across the line in ninth place. Dominic Herbert just manages to keep ahead of Scott Gibbons and keeps ahead of Luke Mitchell just. So there's Luke Mitchell there. There's Scott Gibbons. He's gone across the line. So Luke will be coming across the line in 12th place. Ivan Balkamp is around in the gravel. That is never good.
Is that before though?
Yeah,
it's
I think it's before. Isn't it before? No, he's just finished, so it is after, yeah. And then all the others, unfortunately, are out of the race. Right, here are the results from the feature race here, live from Brands Hatch. So we've got Lewis Archer takes the victory in first place. Nilton Cavallio is in second. Oliver Boltonic in third. Balas Tarowski in fourth. Daniel Thomas is in fifth place. Lee Southall in sixth. Sean Roberts is in seventh. Rob Sluter in eighth. Chris Byram in ninth. Dominic Herbert in 10th. Scott Gibbons, once we managed to sort out that we didn't have two Elliot Hankins for some reason, is in 11th place. Luke Mitchell in 12th. Ivan Bokamp in 13th. Danny Bleak in 14th. The real Elliot Hankin is in 15th. Unfortunately, Nicholas Marshall, Matt Turner, Scott McFall, Stasiv Kokagiannis, Shane Dunn, and Alfie McGarrity and Duke Castro Nevis lapped cars in 16th to 22nd, respectively.
It's turn of events, isn't it? Because you're seeing some of the drivers like Scotty and the Greek driver and a few other people that drivers actually that finished quite well in that first race. Lewis Archer didn't finish very well in that first race, but then got it. And I think this one for Lewis Archer's win came down to the fact that launch you saw at the start was brilliant, wasn't it? Once he got away, he was untouchable at that point.
Yeah, mate, it was absolutely unbelievable, and it just goes to show how important the starts are. Do you know what I mean? He just literally got off that line, and it, in a weird way, that incident in race one kind of helped him in race two, because then he took the pole position for what was he? Yeah, it was in third, but behind Alfie McGarrity and Shane Dunn, who didn't unfortunately appear tonight. But he took almost pole position in the feature race, and then he was just off. He was gone.
Absolutely.
Done.
Yeah. What could have been? Woulda, coulda, woulda. What coulda, woulda. I'd have to say still, you got to feel that the Portuguese driver, Nilton and Oliver, they were consistent in the first race, as well as Ballas. Don't forget Ballas also finished the podium. You're looking at second, third, and fourth. 15 positions gained, 17 positions gained, 18 positions gained. That's the consistency that wins you overall championships, and they've made their way back up there to deliver those results. And so there will be the key drivers, I would say, to look out for sure. And obviously, drivers, we need to hear from these drivers, don't we?
Yeah, I'm just trying
it's
to...
the first round of the season, round 1 and 2, of course, here at Brands Hatch.
Chase them currently at the moment to see if we can get some interviews in.
I believe it's a contract requirement that they have to talk to the media right after the race, otherwise their contract is suspended and they're... Well, basically, each one of them will lose one of their multi-million-dollar yachts that they have parked in Monaco. So you lose one yacht per every missed interview. Isn't that what's in the rules and regulations?
I'm just waiting to see.
And then you have to give one of them to James, and the next one goes to me.
Yeah, definitely on that one. We're just sitting and trying to get some drivers into the box. So just bear with us 2 seconds. And we will get some drivers in, ready to have a chat as well. Why me and Biggles both give them a little bit of a nudge and say, "Excuse me." There you go.
I'm grabbing him by the scruff of the neck, my friend. I've got one of my assistants down there with some handcuffs, and we'll get him up there, of course. So give him a second, but you know what it's like after sweating it out, mate, after a couple of back-to-back races. You need to get up there, maybe a bathroom break, and just wipe off all the sweat, stretch your legs, and then get ready for the microphone to be pointed at you so you can describe what happened. The first race, of course, of what's going to be, I tell you right now, mate, an exciting championship one here for the United Touring Car.
Absolutely. We've got Nilton Carvalho is in the booth. Nilton, we are live. Please do not swear. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
I got him covered.
Hello, guys.
Hello,
Go
Nilton.
ahead,
How are you?
Sweating.
That's
what we said, Neil.
Yep.
Sweating, but
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sweating. Yeah, well, congratulations to Archie. Yeah, it was a good race. To be honest, I didn't expect to go from I think P15 to P2, but it was all down to keep it cool and try to avoid contact. And overtaking on this track is very tricky. So yeah, myself and even my colleague Olivia done really good to avoid. I think at one time he was he had some contact, but yeah, it's all good. It was a good race.
Not just this race. Overall, you did a fantastic race in the other event too. You got to remember the sprint points, speed, and feature.
The first one was a little bit. I completely messed up the start. I got overtaken by a few cars, and then it was just try to finish the race. But I needed 2 more laps, and then I'll take pole. But I think Archer done really well to keep ahead of me.
He did, but the launch. We'll talk to Archer in a minute. But I say overall for the weekend, you did a fantastic job, mate. Especially 15 positions gained in this last actual feature race is brilliant. We'll be talking to the other drivers as well, to the other Belgium driver that was behind you, because you guys have been 2 for now. I'll be looking out for you guys for the rest of the season. Anything you'd like to shout out to everybody for your first race here at United Touring Championship?
Basically, it's I'll shout out basically, and out to I feel sorry for my friend Scott McFall. He had a little incident, and unfortunately, he couldn't fight. But yeah, a big shout out to Scott and Ollie. They are the ones, and look forward for the next races.
We're looking forward to it. You are Portuguese, I believe. Is that correct?
I am indeed.
I love it. Fantastic. You want to say anything in Portuguese? You're well welcome to before we end it. And let you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Nilton. If I'm pronouncing your name. Or Nick, any nicknames you give us?
No, Nilton is fine.
Nilton. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, Nilton is fine.
Thank you, Nilton. Go celebrate. Great racing weekend.
You. See you next one.
James.
Well, there you go. That is Nilton Carvalho done and for us here in the booth. So let's pull in your winner of the feature race, Mr. Lewis Archer. Mr. Archer, you are live. Please do not swear. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. How are you, young sir?
Oh, I'm excited. I didn't expect that. I knew. I thought I'd looking at the results of the first race. I thought I was going to start like 4th or 3rd or something like that, and they weren't there. And I was like, last second, I was like, I think I'm on par. I just pulled away, and I'm like, right, go, because this is it. There are faster drivers behind me, and there were. Nilton was so quick.
Yep. Nilton was definitely quick. I want to talk about something, though. I'm not going to let you off very easily, okay? So please don't think you come into this booth and expect to get away without answering the question of what happened in race 1.
Oh, terrible. Diabolical. Yeah, totally embarrassment to my whole body. I felt crap for ages. Essentially, I was blind. So I like to overtake there. Chris came past me. I didn't obey the cold tyres and the full fuel. I was just going around with my points from a nice empty car and a hot set of tyres, and I was getting caught out on all the corners. I got to that one. I had a little look up the left, and then I threw it right, and it was just way too early. I took a whole heap of curb, and it just spat me out, and I was like, what an idiot.
I heard from one of your team engineers or something like that is the fact that you had the air conditioning button turned on in the car, so you probably should turn that off. That costs you a little bit of the problem with the wheel spin. I'm kidding, of course, Lewis.
Yeah, Chris is lucky. Yeah, I mean, I look back. Obviously, I had some time to reflect. I very nearly could have taken Chris or Lee out. It was a ridiculous thing, to be honest. So yeah, I had to take it easy. But yeah, I didn't really have to fight hard in the second
You
race.
bounced back in the second race. What happened with that launch, mate? You were like, I want to be in Silverstone. Everybody was in Brands Hatch. Describe your launch.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they updated these cars. I think they're messing with them as we speak. So like every update that comes out, the clutch seems to be massively different. So it's just like keep getting in the car after the update and feel for that box.
I think we need to look in scrutiny your car after, because there might be something that some of the other teams might be protesting against, because that was just a brilliant launch, mate. You were just catapulting out there. Elon Musk was tweeting going, well, if we're going to have a rocket to another galaxy, we're going to talk to this man, Lewis Archer.
Oh, I hope I can continue. I really do. It's a strong field. I'm slightly intimidated by some of the guys in this. I just wish I was up there at the front of that sprint race with those, I was P4, 5 or whatever. I just wish I'd have stayed there and I could have fought for that first one. But it is what it is. I'll take the win. And I'm just looking forward to watching the stream back. I really am.
You got more rounds to go, so don't worry about that first round, of course. So you got a couple more, Alton Park there in Knoxville. We'll go on to that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm glad you're happy, of course. So, and that's also great, I think, from all drivers. You bounce back from a bad first race, obviously in the sprint race. You don't count it over. We have another race. You go and just put the pedal to the metal, and look what happens when you do it. Concentrate and get it done.
Yeah.
You bounce back stronger and stronger. Good job there, Lewis. P1, celebrate, mate. And that's a trophy on your cabinet. I expect you might be having to get renovation soon to get a few more for the rest of the season.
I hope so. These guys are strong. But yeah, thank you very much for the stream, guys.
No
Epic
worries
stuff.
at all, mate. Thank you so much for joining us in the booth, and congratulations on your victory in the feature race.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much.
Right, so here we go now. We're going to bring in Oliver Boltonic. I think that is the correct pronunciation. Young sir, you are live. Please do not swear. Hope you're well, and how are you?
Hi, good evening, guys. I'm okay. Pretty happy with 2 times P3. So it was a good race.
Yeah, what's
You
it?
are one of the best. Yeah, go ahead. So yeah, I was going to say he's one of the best drivers, isn't it? Like one of the most improved drivers, because he gained 70 positions in that previous race. At a lot of positions, I believe, in the first sprint race. Apologies if I don't know exactly, but consistency equals Oliver. That's got to feel good, right, mate?
Thank you. Yeah, it was like first race. I didn't have a pretty good start, too much wheel spin. And I had to back off for my teammate Scott. So I was a little bit faster, but I couldn't risk it to pass him. And then the second race, yeah, I got squeezed out and touched, I spun, I had some damage. But I came back to P3, so I'm pretty happy I came back to P3.
So do you know what happened to Scott? Because I personally think he blew the engine on his pit lane entry.
No, he just completely missed the start. He was busy with his little kid, I think. So he had to start.
The ankle bite is what he's had his ankles.
I think he had to start out of the pit lane, and then I think turn 1 some big crash happened, and he was in it.
Lucky is a full season. It happens to everybody at the end of the day, isn't it? We have netcode and all sorts of jazz. Real family situations. But yeah, once again, consistency, mate. I love how you're so relaxed. It's like, yeah, I had a spin. I went here, I went that, and then I just finished in P3. very, very, very Belgium. Relaxed, cool, and mate, if you keep that up all season long, I guarantee you will be taking that trophy home.
We're gonna try. But I'm also happy for Nilton. He finished second, so good team result. So
they did an absolutely stellar job as well. Oliver, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before you go?
Oh yeah, I want to thank you guys for the leak and also for the broadcast. I want to thank Scott because he told me there's a good leak 2 hours before it starts.
Just wait until it gets deeper into the league, mate, when everybody gets slightly angry when the points are off for gripe, but it's all right. It is a fantastic league, and we'll have to back that one. But yeah.
And also
final words there, Oliver?
And also want to thank Nilton. It's such a great team we have. It's like friends, family. It's so good.
No worries at all there, buddy. Well, that's all done for you. Thank you so much for joining us in the booth. And congratulations on your 3rd place.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Followed by 2, remember.
Sorry?
3rd place squared.
Yes, 2 3rd places.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
Well, there you go, Biggles. Round 1 done and done this evening.
You're going to say, you were saying dusted, weren't you? But it's
Yeah,
done and sanded.
done
Done
and
and
done.
sanded was the word.
Shush. Stop it. Stop giving me
All right,
grief
you
this
want to
evening.
wrap it up, mate? Because, yeah, it's been great. I've enjoyed the booth of you, and I'm going to fly all the way back to Australia. And UTC, thank you very much. I had the beef, and that was delicious on the private jet, aka private jet, remember? So, yeah, over to you, James. Thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. That rounds out tonight's action. So first off, thank you so much for joining myself and Mr. Dean Biggles in the booth this evening. And I hope you've enjoyed round 1 and round 2 of the United Touring Championship live from Brands Hatch. It's going to be an absolute epic round 3 and round 4. So join us next Saturday for that one. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Broadcast will go live about 8:10. You'll see my beautiful, wonderful self at about 20 past when we'll hopefully have another chat to our very own Mr. Biggles as well there. But that is it, guys, from us here up in the booth for JPB Broadcasting. I've been James Parfit. From myself and Mr. Biggles, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.